Yo, Still Mills was the deal, man. Yo, trying to get my crib a little, cleaned up or whatever, man, so I can enjoy the rest of my day and start this House of Dragon shit. And I don't know why when I do a video, like the lights dim a little bit as opposed to me taking a picture on this laptop. It'd be lighter. I don't know, but it is what it is. But peep game, man. I wanna rap about what happened yesterday, man. Spirited effort from Anthony Joshua, man. I definitely saw adjustments. I was rooting for the brother, and even in loss, I'm still rooting for him, man. Because I just think he's class personified, and he's never been a nigga to duck nobody. He's as a champion and as a cash cow. He ain't taking no tune ups, no easy rolls, and none of that shit. I wouldn't be surprised if we seen him against Hergovich or Zile in his next fight. He talking about November, December. I think that's a fight that he should shoot for. But I saw spirited effort. I definitely saw the adjustments being made. But one thing I did, he started wavering towards the end as far as his conditioning. And I think the main thing was he was really trying to employ too much upper body movement, bending at the knees, getting up under shots. And I was just like, I had an issue with that because he was still fighting at that distance. He was putting pressure on him, and we saw the results of that because Usyk, you seen him breathing with his mouth open, but it was just the resilience and the endurance that he had. He was able to muscle through that. And when you have a higher ceiling than another opponent, you can take your attributes and exploit somebody's flaws. Joshua doesn't have the best feet. Usyk, he's wavering later on in the match. He's tired, but he can still punch off those angles with the scoring shots, the pity pat shots. He's not looking to land nothing big, just scoring to keep Joshua at bay because he's gassed too. So naturally, your legs are your foundation, and if your legs ain't there, it don't take much to put you on your pockets. And he was still trying to muscle through it and show, my chin is good. My chin is alright. Ain't nothing. But you can say that all you want. At that point, it ain't about your chin; it's about your legs. And homie's legs was shot at that time, and Usyk was just able to take what it is that he knows how to do and exploit Joshua's flaws. So he was able to start squeaking out those later rounds. I definitely think the fight. I think it was, it was definitely a close fight. I don't know what people are talking about with just, I don't think it was that wide of a fight because Joshua was putting rounds in the bank. It really just vexed me how this nigga was really trying to still, box. It's like, homie, no, you're not gonna win that fight. Even though, I seen him setting up the right hand. He was really trying to counter. He was trying to slip and throw it right over the top. I'm like, you're not gonna land that on him. He's too elusive for that. You got to get in there and just bang on him. I like the roughhousing tactics that he was employing later on in the fight. I'm like, that's what you need to be doing. You leaning on him. That's what you need to be doing. That mean streak. You got to discover that mean streak. But I think a lot of that his fatigue came in from early rounds, trying to imply too much upper body movement, bending at the waist, bending at his knees, getting up under hooks, slipping the straights. It looked good, honestly. He's deemed, he's a robot. He don't got good defense. For him to get up under a Usyk shot, that's a sign of progress. I just think that he was doing it and not looking to advance. So all right, cool. I slipped the shot. Now I'm about to step in. I'm about to weave the shot and step in behind it so I can set something up big. I didn't like that. I mean, I liked it because I thought it was clearly you're still showing signs of improvement, but it was just like, you're too stagnant there. You dig? Don't just stand there and slip the shot or weave the shot just for the sake of slipping the shot or weaving the shot. I don't even want you countering. He was trying to counter punch and everything. He was still fencing with the jab. I was like, man, nah, bro, no. But he did have his moments where he was tapping the body, and he didn't abandon the body assault at all. And that once again, it showed. You saw the results of that because Usyk started to. You seen that. And he was digging to the body hard. You know what I'm saying? He was digging to the body hard. But I think another thing with him, he was just trying to place the shot. He was trying to place the shot. Like, I want this shot to land on your chin. I want this shot to land in your rib cage, instead of just hooking to his arms. You dig? If you shoot for the body, if you hook to the body, you uppercut to the body, and he catches it on the arms. Just sound defense. That's what any defensively responsible fighter would do. They catch the shot on the arms. All right, cool. That's honestly where I'm trying to land anyway. Just beat your arms up. If I catch your ribs, that's a bonus. Let me just pound on you. Let me break all this down. Let me chip away at your defenses. Let me chip away at that force field. So he wasn't doing that, man. We did see improvements in there, but it just, and he prepped for this fight. It just wasn't enough, and that's all right. That's all right, man. Usyk is proven to be. I personally think he's the best heavyweight in the division, man. When we look at Tyson Fury, it's like, all right, cool. Fury, I think he's getting a little too much credit for this Wilder win, when Wilder isn't even that nigga like that. He's getting a little too much credit for that win. Good win, but I don't. It's just like, yo, Wilder has, if Wilder can get past I can't even say Hellenius. Well, I can say Hellenius. I can say Hellenius. If he's to get past a Hellenius or something like that, who's a top fighter in the division, alright, cool. It's a good win regardless, but he hasn't had like many top wins. You know what I'm saying? And so he has that. Man, I ain't finna go into the Wilder spill. I just think Fury gets a little too much credit for that win, even though it was a good win. I think the Klitschko win was a better win than that win, and it's and even the. Do I want to say Dillian White? Dillian White, I think, was just as good of a win as Wilder was, honestly. So, you can argue that that's his best win, or his second best win over Deontay Wilder. But nonetheless, I think Usyk is the baddest heavyweight in the division. I just think I'm looking at a cruiserweight fighting at heavyweight. I'm looking at the elusive movements. I'm looking at a dude who's particularly small for this generation of heavyweights, and he just the way that he's doing these dudes is like, yo, this is really an incredible fighter right here. So Usyk just had his number, and as I said before, man, your road to undisputed may not come through Usyk. It may not even come through Tyson Fury, and that's all right. That's all right. It's a lot of people. Yeah, let's get into that, matter of fact. It's a lot of people, just the minute he loses, they can't wait to come on here with the I told you so's and all that, and just kind of kicking him when he was down. It's a lot of people who have something to say about him throwing a temper tantrum and having a meltdown in the ring. Me personally, I loved it. That's showing his human side. That's showing, man, I'm training for this. I'm imperfect as is all human beings. You know what I'm saying? But he shows himself in a positive light to where it's like nothing bothers him. Nothing bothers him, and people get so they get so enchanted with that, good and bad, that he's not allowed to show signs of frustration and express the fact that he's emotional. I was arguing with a lot of people on there last night. Man, that was corny. I'm like, yo, all right, well, explain to me, how is this any different from the Detroit Pistons walking out on the Chicago Bulls when they got bounced out and not walking right past them and not shaking their hands? That still lingers with him today, especially Isaiah Thomas. He feels some type of way about Mike to this day. He'll sing his praises, but it's still, some sort of resentment there. When when you're competitive at something, you do something on a high level, you work your ass off to ensure that you get this victory, and you come up short, you feel some type of way about that. And only a motherfucker who has never competed in anything on any level would say, oh, you want to talk about sportsmanship, something. Look, dude, a fight, like, in my neighborhood, if you talking too much shit, you beating somebody in basketball too much, you just doing the most, and they getting under your skin. What you trying to do, my nigga? All right, yeah, you beat me in basketball, you beat me in this, you beat me in that, you popping up, you popping off, and you can't step out in the street and whoop me, though. You can't whoop me. So now when you get whooped, where else do you go after that? You know what I'm saying? You ain't no, most rational thinking human beings ain't with the shooting. So all right, you just got to take that. You got to swallow your pride, take that L, and keep it pushing. So he just got beat up in front of everybody. He's going to show signs of, he's going to eventually show that I'm still human. You dig? That everybody wants to hold these professional athletes, be holding to being a professional athlete and showing themselves with a certain level of professionalism, and they completely ignore the fact that they're still human beings at the end of the day who get emotional. They get emotional. They get erratic at point in times. You dig? And they were trying to, they're still, and I don't think they're trying. I just think that's his character. But they're so, fixated on the fact that he shows himself in the light that he shows himself. He's articulate. He's not no tough guy. He's not menacing. He's like a cool dude to be around. Like somebody you could trust your lady to go and kick it with. You know what I'm saying? Because that's AJ. AJ ain't on bullshit. AJ ain't on that bullshit. He's just a personable dude. So when he has a moment of, when that shit, he lapses and he reverts back to, being the human being that, that he is and shows signs of emotions, he's vilified for it. And that's what I don't like about it, man. He got mad. He did all that bullshit in the ring and he walked out of the ring. He's like, I'm out. And then he caught himself. Nah, fuck that. I'm going back. When people are in an emotional state like that, they're going to be very coherent in their, in their speech, because they're still trying to show signs of dignity despite the fact that they're in a irate emotional state. They're still trying to be, sportsmanlike. They're still trying to be just upstanding human beings. They're trying to be that, but they're just they're angry. They're emotional because they just lost. And I think that shit is corny how people are trying to clap at him for that. He's throwing shit, of course. This is the only unified world champion that I've ever heard of that is being vilified for being a unified world champion. There's people saying that, I heard 78 say he shouldn't have fought nobody, like he should just now be fighting for championships. And I'm like, that's the most ridiculous shit in the world I've ever heard, bro. Like, he has beaten 3 world champions. He's beaten 3 world champions. 3. It's just any opportunity they get to kick this dude when he's down, they take it. You dig? All while giving Wilder all the... They still won't let that dude face the music. I was just listening to BFTB and they want everybody to be mad at Tyson Fury for firing Sugar Hill the same way we was mad at Deontay Wilder for firing Mark Breland. And it's like, this shit always circles back to Deion. Like, yo, it's ridiculous. Wilder is still making claims that he was cheated and he was robbed and all this and all that. And y'all rally behind him. You dig? But now when you got this man right here, it's he shouldn't have been, he was fighting for belts too early anyway. 16 fights in, he's a champion. Like, it's ridiculous, man. It's he's beating some credible opposition. Pavek and Dillian White. Those 2 may be his best wins. Klitschko. That may... I just think it's ridiculous, man, how people just will not let this dude... It's like he can't do nothing wrong. He can't do nothing wrong when he reverts back to his human ways. Oh, you the good guy. You the class act. You the good guy. You know what I'm saying? You supposed to uphold yourself in a certain type of esteem in front of these cameras. And then when he does do that, he's vilified for that. Oh, he this and then the third, he fake, he quiet. It's just extra out, man. It's like, god damn. So me personally, I loved it. I love the fact that he showed emotion. I love that tells me that you're a competitor. You want to win. You trained your motherfucking ass off to be victorious, and you came up short. Now Usyk is not yet. This is a generational talent right here, man. I think he's gonna be a 2-division undisputed world champion. Him and Bud, they about to be them dudes. Usyk is different. Usyk, and I'm saying, oh man, he need to retire. Like, why does he need to retire? He trash. Why is he trash? Because he lost to the best in the division. A lot of people have him pound for pound number 1. How are you trash because you lost to a pound for pound great? That just doesn't make sense to me. That makes no sense. He ain't got no heart. How doesn't he have heart when he fought? He finished the fight on his feet. He never stopped. By the time he started pressing the issue, he was already shot for the aggression to be effective. He was not shocked, but he was already fatigued to the point where it's like, nah, it just ain't gonna work like that. But he can't, he's coming forward. He finished the fight on his feet. He didn't look as pedestrian as he did in the first fight. How is that not hard? Oh man, he's overrated. How are you overrated unified world champion 2 times? It's just like, this shit is ridiculous. He can't beat the elite. And I seen somebody say he can't beat a present day Andy Ruiz. And I was like, you dudes are. You do realize he beat Andy Ruiz already, right? Oh, present day Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz, that's 250. All right. The same Andy Ruiz that brung Chris Ariota out of retirement and got dropped and hurt by him multiple times. All right, yeah, he can't beat that Andy Ruiz. I'm like, you dudes are just ridiculous, man. But it's a lot of people who are really clapping at him for this law. I remember when Jermell Charlo cried at the press conference, man. I was like, there was people clapping at him for that. I was like, that doesn't bother me. I dig that shit, man. People just, there's nothing when you are a competitor, especially in combat sports, because this is the end all be all right here. You piss me off enough, my nigga, I'll beat your motherfucking ass. That's what that shit eventually transpires into. And if you lose in that realm, in that arena, where do we go after that? I just got to accept that I got my ass beat. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. So, him crying at the press conference and everything, I dig it. I'm digging that he's showing signs of emotion. I'm digging that he's not trying to be politically correct in a loss and be gracious in a loss. I'm glad that he's showing that I'm fucked up in the game right now, man. I'm hot right now. I'm feeling some type of way about me losing this fight. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's the competitive spirit. And for the people that saying he needs to retire, why does he need to retire? Why does he need to retire? Let's say Usyk does lose to Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua is still the biggest fight in British history. Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder is a huge mega fight over here in America. Why does he need to retire? And there's still hitters in the heavyweight division. Zhilei Zhang and Hrgovic. He could fight any of them too, because that fight could have went either way on Saturday or yesterday. That fight could have went either way. That's a good fight for the likes of a Deontay Wilder. Daniel Dubois is still a good fight for him. Joe Joyce is a good fight for him. There's a multitude of good fights that he could continue to be the cash cow in the division. He can still continue to be. I think that the British boxing market is a bit different from the American boxing market. We can appreciate. They have a bit more of an appreciation of a fighter who's coming in and showing courage and heart, and they'll continue to support you. I mean, Manny Pacquiao lost to Floyd Mayweather, and they still continue to support him up here. He was still a cash cow. But it's just like over there how they cater to him, and even just after the fight, they're taking pictures with him in the crowd. They want his autograph. When he broke down, they're applauding him like, man, it's all good, man. It's all good. You still got a supporter in me. That's the energy that they had towards him, man, and that's dope. That's dope. So why should he retire? Why should he retire when he just watched Zhilei Zhang and Philip Hrgovic? They're on that side of the street. Why should he retire when Daniel Dubois is with Sky? But Joe Joyce, why should they retire? Why should he retire? Why? It just makes no sense. How it just, the Mayweather curse is real. It's kind of sickening, man. The minute somebody loses, their value and their stock plummets. I just can't dig that, because this is the fight business. This is the hurt business. There's not that many people on this planet who can do to you what that individual just did to you. So when that individual does that to you, you got to be able to chalk that up like, yo, man, he put himself in position to be that guy to do that to him. We just saw, I didn't see it, but Usman last night, winning the fight, 55 seconds left in the match, he gets caught with something and is comatose. That's what happens in these combat sports. That's what happens. I'm arguing with people, he this and that. How? You're going to have to explain how he's garbage because he lost to a pound for pound great, a pound for pound kingpin by a lot of people's estimation. How? Just let's try and make this shit make sense, because it's not making sense. I don't like that. I don't like when they put these expectations on athletes as if they can't still respond as the human beings that they are. They're human. They're human. People get mad at Kevin Durant for clapping at niggas on Twitter who clapping at him. He's supposed to do that. Oh, he need to focus on this and that and the third and yada yada. All right, well, let's put yourself in your shoes. You got time. If I say something slick about you, you got time to clap back at me. You said, well, why ain't you working? You need to be working. You need to be doing this and that and the third. You need to be making sure your house is in order. Right? It's the same thing. These athletes are human beings. That's the long and short of it. Eventually they gonna get in their feelings. If they get their ass beat, that's what it is. Man, I'm mad about that. I'm mad about that. I'm in my feelings. You have every right to be. I think that's ridiculous how people get like that, man. Let that man be a human being. He's a man at the end of the day. He's a competitor and he wants to win. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing. I didn't see it was nothing. I thought it was delusional, but when Deontay Wilder was talking to Tyson Fury, I don't respect you. I don't respect you. I think he did it to save face, but you're in an emotional state. You let these cats just completely deteriorate your mental stability and put some shit in the air like you was afflicted and mistreated in a fight. So now you got to stand on that, and he stood on that, and I think he honestly believes that that's what happened to him. So he's standing on his convictions. He's a warrior, you know. He's a man. He's a prideful man. You take pride in what you do, and when you get embarrassed for the world to see, because that's something that everybody's gonna be talking about for years. I understand it. I honestly do. Y'all keep putting these athletes and these celebrities in a certain light to where that they're just supposed to suppress human instinct. You can't show signs of emotion. Oh, you already up there. You this and that. What you crying for? You know, all that bullshit. Because he's mad he lost. The fuck is you talking about? So I dug it. I like to see him in this state. I love it. I think it's dope, and I think he comes back hungrier. And speaking of Wilder, I know he it's some little goofy shit that he said. The biggest thing that I'm seeing is, you know, the minute in particular the LDBC, and they piss me off with this, because it's like, god damn, dog, like y'all keep going out of y'all way to clap at him and clap at Eddie. Eddie Hearn is a terrible matchmaker. How? Eddie Hearn didn't match up Usyk and Joshua. Joshua could have dropped them belts, man. Fuck Undisputed. He could have dropped them belts. He chose, bring on Usyk. That speaks to the warrior in him. Everybody's praising Usyk for winning twice, as he should. He deserved it, but Anthony Joshua didn't have to fight him. And that's what people, they refuse to acknowledge. They're just so excited. They're ecstatic that he lost. They're ecstatic that he lost, but they're completely disregarding the fact that bring on Usyk. I honor my mandatories. It's ridiculous with me, man, how niggas act. It's disgusting, man. And they just, it's like they're basking in this. They're basking in this. The same niggas that, Joshua can do nothing right. When he was talking about the Larry Hoovers and all that shit, who don't look, what people from around the way don't, look up to the Larry Hoovers and the Big Meeches and the Rich Porters and all them cats. You dig? That's just what it is. That's what it is. Y'all couldn't wait to, y'all had something slick to say about that. But y'all ain't have shit slick to say when Deontay Wilder wanted to say he wants the body on his record. Y'all don't have anything slick to say about that shit. Eddie Hearn is a terrible matchmaker for putting him in with top competition in the division. But Shelly Finkel and the matchmakers over there at PBC, they're putting him in with Bermain Stavern and doing a little goofy shit with the rankings to get Brazil in place of fucking Dillian White and fighting all these unranked fighters and fighting 489th ranked fighters in the world, bro. Like, what are you talking about? He's a terrible matchmaker. How? It's just it pisses me off, man. It pisses me off. It pisses me off because y'all are cats who are prone on on the progression of black people as up abroad, not black people. You dig? And y'all just, the minute he loses, y'all can't wait to kick another brother when he's down. Y'all can't wait to vilify him for all of his wrongdoings, but y'all will give a pass to Deontay Wilder for all of his fuckery. Man, it bothers me, man. It bothers me how a dude so as accomplished as Anthony Joshua gets ridiculed in the capacity that he does. It's like being a unified world champion doesn't matter. Being, fighting the best the division has to offer doesn't matter. I'm seeing people say, "Oh man, Luis Ortiz." They can't wait to speak on Luis Ortiz, but they won't speak on the fact that Luis Ortiz and them fumbled that fight after the Jarrell Miller debacle went down. Y'all want to talk about Luis Ortiz? He ain't fighting Ortiz. He tried to. It's up to the opponent to accept the fight. He's never turned down no drama, ever. He's never turned down no drama. It's just like, yo, dude, he lost to Usyk. It is what it is. Everybody in the division, I think, would lose to Usyk. I'm just going to be real about it. Usyk is beating everybody. Usyk is beating everybody. I know people are Tyson Fury this, Tyson Fury that. Man, we watched Tyson Fury get put on his pockets by Steve Cunningham, who was winging shots. When a nigga drop their head and just swing for the fences, that's a sign of desperation. Usyk is far more calculated than a Cunningham. He's far more calculated with setting up his punches. He's far more calculated with getting around your lead hand to set up his backhand. He's far more calculated than a Steve Cunningham, dog. Like, I think Usyk is going to beat everybody in the division. He's already beat Joe Joyce. In the semi-pro fight, it was no headgear when they fought. There was no headgear. Usyk, I think, is the baddest man in the division. And it is what it is, man. Like, shout out to Anthony Joshua, man. Like I said, you got a supporter in me regardless, man. I'm happy to see that you show signs of emotion. I'm happy you broke down. I'm happy you threw a temper tantrum. I'm happy with all of that. I love it. Because that's what that's telling me is you still have a yearning to achieve more than what you've already achieved. That's something to be saluted and commended. Instead of sitting here and just trying to, poke fun at him and all that, man. That dude he still has 4 and 5 years left. He's still at 32. He has 4 and 5 years left at the very least, if the Creator grants him longevity in life. Absolutely. Keeping up like this, he has 4 or 5 good years left in him. He can still become an undisputed world champion. It's just not gonna go. It's not gonna be through Usyk, and that's cool. Mommy is with pretzel. No, they're not at Freddy's house. Okay. We'll call her on FaceTime, okay? Go call her right now. Mommy, no here, baby. Go take your iPad and call her on FaceTime.
But my iPad don't charge.
Okay, here. Sorry, y'all. Fatherhood. Get out the camera, babies. Let's go. Here. Hold on. There. Yeah. Here. Go over there. But yeah, like I was saying, I love it. So So just, I love it. I love that he's showing signs of emotion. I'm showing that he's showing signs of duress. I'm loving that he's showing signs of him being a human being. And there's still years left in him, man. There's still on that side of the street. There's some good fights for him. There's some good fights for him. There's some good fights for him. Zhilei Zhang and Philip Hergovich. I wouldn't be surprised get it next. One of them too. And Joe Joyce and I wouldn't be surprised. Are they fighting on the zone or are they fighting on Sky? But all in all, I just, like I said, man, that's my nigga. I'm fucking with Anthony Joshua. I didn't have a winner in this fight because I said it could have went either way. I've been defending the bro all night. You know what I'm saying? Niggas was getting on there talking real greasy, and I was on their ass. I'm not letting y'all get that. I'm not letting y'all get that. I'm gonna talk. Y'all not about to sit there and bang on the bro like that in this time of vulnerability. You dig? I'm on y'all ass while y'all sit here and y'all big up fighters who aren't nearly as accomplished. You happy now? So that's my guy. That's what it is. I'm rocking with him, and I'm rocking with him until he retires. So man,
Yeah.
King AJ, watch out, baby. So that's how I'm feeling about it, man. Shout out Anthony Joshua. Congrats to Alexander Usyk. You a bad motherfucker. And that's just what it is. That's a bad man right there. And I'm looking forward to the undisputed match. So let me know what y'all think, man. Let me know. Y'all holler back at me, and I'm about to go finish cleaning up, man, so I can enjoy my Sunday. Deuces.